The castle pop-up's quite a simple one to make. It looks a little bit daunting, there's lots of pieces, but it really is quite simple. So, a number of jobs. The first one to do is to print the base card. I've got the knight on there, again all on the same piece. And I've gone on now and I've cut out all the pieces of the castle here. So what I want to do is show you how to put this together, and I'm going to use this main piece to explain how we get this sort of cornice on the side of the wall here, and then you can go on and do the same. This one piece really, it represents all the other little bits on there. Okay, so to save time, I've gone on, I've cut it out, I can put all the creases down the lines. I've got a centre line here which I'm now folding down. And you'll notice that there was a red cut line here, so I've cut through there. Now the trick is to get this to go back out the other way, and that's going to actually go down. So initially what I'm doing is just bending over on these lines to pull those forward. You can see that, one on one side there, one on the other side there. This is a bit tricky. And if you find it really is beyond you, then this might sound a bit silly, but just don't worry, just have it as a standard corner. But you'll see how simple it is. Okay, so those two have come up there, and you can see now it's starting to go down. I've just got to tease it on its way, and boom, there we go. And that's the corner bit. And if I open that up for you, you can see it just adds a nice little bit of decoration to the side of the castle. Okay, so that bit's down. Now how do we get it down on here? Well, ultimately it's going to lie flat. This card really works when it's opened at or left at a slight angle. So the easiest way is to simply decide where you want this to go. Now there aren't any marks to line it up on. So the centre line here, top of the castle to that point there is your centre line. I've left mine a little bit down there, so part of it on the grass, the rest of it up there on the trees. Line that up and fold it in half like so, and you'll see that it fits nicely into the crease there. So these flaps, one either side, just fold down, bit of glue onto those, and it's simply a case of fold that over, and that's the first part on there. Flip it over, do the same again on this side, glue down there, and again just fold that over. That keeps it all in position. You notice actually the fold of my card wasn't as good as it could be, but I can trim that up later. The most important thing now is our card opens there like so. Now what we've got to do is just tease it forward slightly. So as it opens, it comes forward now. Press it down, get all the elements in there, give it a good rub, that settles it all in. And now as we open it up, you can see we get the effect of the castle walls standing upright there. Okay, so again, make sure the glue's nice and stuck down because it's under a lot of pressure. You can see as it tries to open, it's pulling it. But this card sits best when it's at a slight angle like that. Okay, so that's the main part. Now what we're going to do is just stick down the other elements on it as well. So I'm going to take one of the sides here, and again this is really simply the same. Now this joins on at 90 degrees to this side here, so it's simply going to stick onto it like so. So I'll go on now and just glue those tabs. Now we can do the same again with the next side. What we're going to do is use this as a pop-up and to one corner. So effectively, although our centre line was there for this one, we can do the same again using this side of the castle by simply laying it flat and running it along the line there. That runs the centre line, now runs along that centre there. So you can pop it in half. I've just pre-glued these tabs now, and that can simply line up there with that piece. Now if you want to, you could have it either higher or whatever, but I think I would just be tempted to line all of them up along the bottom. Put that one down there, that one there, and then because you could open the whole card The thing is, we can't just push it over now, so I would just be tempted to say, well, there we go, that's it, it's in position there. I'll stick it down in that point. Remember, this is kind of almost in reverse, it's wanting to go the other way, so we just got to tease it on its way to begin with, and as we lift up, it'll find its way. This one is coming up adrift a little bit, there we go. So close the card up, perfect, that sits in nicely. Again, a quick rub, and we can see now that that's at a lovely angle. If I hold that up to the camera, you can see now that one's sitting at 90 degrees. So it really is that simple. Okay, the last bit again works in a similar process, but instead of being a half split, it's a tiny bit that sits on the side. So what we're going to do is just simply tack it on there. Now there is a little mark on the rock, but if you can't see it, just rest this point to here and just put a little bit of pencil line there just for you to see and guide, and then this part will just line up, so the fold will just crease to there, line up to that pencil mark, just cover it slightly there, and again just fold that one down and push it, and then all these mechanisms work with each other. We can see it lift and rise up now. As that goes over, that will sit nicely within the card, and there we go. That's how we put the castle together. I'm going to go on now and do the other half, and then we'll come back and look at the other elements. You can see now that I've finished the card and it opens and closes really nicely, and I've just gone on and repeated the same technique. Now I would recommend that you use what we call a wet glue, a good strong wet glue. The tape gun works well on certain things, but this is under quite a lot of pressure and tension, and it can sort of dry out slightly and break loose. I'm just using it for quickness of ease on the camera, because otherwise we'd be waiting forever for the glue to dry, and that is the other thing, let each bit dry before you go on. But now just to finish off, there's a few elements that we can do. I'm going to lay that flat. I've got a nice little knight here that can go in if you want him to. These are just little embellishments. I'm just going to put him there, again just line up with the centre line. I've pre-glued the tabs, and then as I open and close, he'll just sort of pop up. There's a slight bit of movement with him there. And last but not least, I've got the centre to do. And again, I'm just going to rest this flat, line up the centre line there, and this will just sit on those other castle walls there. So I've glued the tabs there at the back of it, and just stick those down. And we'll see now as that comes out, that just rises forward, and we can see now as you open the card, we've got the knight in the background there and all the lovely castle walls opening up. It's really quite a spectacular card. The last element you can add here if you want to are the three knights here. Now I've cut that all out, folded the lines, scored them and cut out along the red line here. And this mechanism is the same as the champagne bottle, so I'll be going into more detail on that. But effectively it folds forward like this, and then that's going to be our lift, as it were, to pull it in and out of the pop-up. So as the pop-up opens, they kind of pop up like so. I'm just putting that now at an angle, if you can see, so the knight touches there, one bit on there, black dots are folded up, and then as we open and close it, we can see the knights popping out from the top of the castle. And there we go, a really lovely card. I think most people would enjoy receiving that. Fun to make, and it really isn't that too difficult to make. Follow the instructions, glue everything nicely. I said everything's under a lot of pressure there as you open it up, so good strong glue, and you'll be absolutely fine with this one. I hope you enjoy making it.